Hey everyone, today I want to show you how to use your Steam Deck in VR mode using XR glasses. But before we do that, you may be thinking, how can I build my own XR glasses? I'm not thinking that because I think that's dumb, but you might be thinking that. And for that, we have PCBWay, today's sponsor. They do custom PCBs, they do injection molding, they do CNC milling, all the bits and pieces that you might need to build some sort of project. Maybe you're developing something for a business. They are the people to go to develop those prototypes, to develop those first versions of things. So go onto their website. They have a community page. So if you want to get ideas on how to start somewhere, that's a good place to start. They also have a help section in their website. So a big thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring today's video. This is actually not such a big deal. Actually, what you need to do is install something called Decky Loader. Now, I've been saying on Twitter, on X, and on my YouTube channel that the intention of getting the Steam Deck was to use it for my YouTube channel, and I haven't done that. Literally, I have just been using it as a consumer. I picked it up and I just started playing the backlog of games I had, all the old PC games that I hadn't played over the years, and I just started digging into that. Like, for instance, I'm about to get into Fallout New Vegas. The Steam Deck is the device to do that. So that's what I've been doing with the Steam Deck. And I've been meaning to make this video, and researching it, I realized not a lot of people have actually touched on this specifically for the Steam Deck. I think it is available for other devices, but the Steam Deck has a nice system. So the community have developed apps and things to tweak your Steam Deck the way you want it. Now, Decky Loader is a sort of an app tray that goes in when you press this button. It opens on the side, and you can install, there's an app store for Decky Loader. So how you do it is, I'll put the link in the description below. You go to the desktop mode of your Steam Deck, install this app. I came across a problem where I didn't have the administrator password for my Steam Deck, so I changed it. So you can either change it, it's a pretty simple thing, just Google how to change your Steam Deck admin password, or if you don't have an admin password, you might need one to do the installation. So those are the little niggles I found, but other than that, you just download the app, install it in desktop mode, and then switch over to gaming mode. Once you're in gaming mode, just open the app tray, press this button, scroll down where you'll see a little picture of a plug there, and there's Decky Loader. You'll see a little shop there, and get the app called VR Gaming. Once that's installed, we can get started. Okay, so let's go through the features of this VR Gaming app. So I'm just going to use my glasses underneath. It makes life a little easier. And so you'll see we have obviously disabled. So you press this little 3-dot button on the bottom right of your Steam Deck. And then on the far right, we've got disabled. Now we go in and we say follow, and this says display follow, sizing and positioning. So this is just a clone of your screen. So the idea here is that you can set a screen to the top left, and then my glasses have a pass-through, and then you can go on with your daily life with that in the corner, which I'm sure there's a use case for that, but you can also resize the display. You can set it to curved display, and then so this is, for features that's like, for instance, these XR glasses have those features, but it does enable side-by-side mode, which allows you to set two screens side by side for 3D movies. Okay, anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this because I don't want to focus on this. What I want to focus on is VR Lite, or what I like to call mouse mode, because what it does is it allows you to move your head, and the mouse cursor will move with your head. So the screen stays static with your eyes, but as you move, the mouse is moving around the screen, which is pretty damn cool. And I'll show you why now. Okay, so for our test, I'm busy working through Wolfenstein New Colossus. Now, the reason why I like to call it mouse mode is because when you're playing on your PC and you're doing a first-person shooter with a mouse, this does exactly the same thing. It gives you the accuracy, but instead of using a mouse, you're using your head. And it feels like a little bit like VR. So I was actually standing in the middle of my office with my Steam Deck and the headset, playing games, which was just pretty cool. So here now, I'll try to sync this up, but essentially I'm looking up there, and then I'm grabbing the gun there. Oh, I've got enough here. Let's see what that is. There we go. Okay, so now you still need to use it. So here I'm going to turn around. That's my joystick. So I still need to use my joystick to do certain, like the major turns. Or let's say, for instance, you're here and the camera's stuck down here. You just use the joystick to get you back to center. Let's say, for instance, there, and you're stuck there and you don't want to be there. You actually want to be there. So you use the joystick to sync it up like that. See there, now my head was stuck down there. Okay, here we go. Just for argument's sake there, I want to shoot him. There. Okay, so now all I do is I look where I want to shoot. I've also got the targeting assist enabled, but I hate these things. See there, that was all just head tracking. So there we go, who's next? So hopefully that gives you an idea of how that works. And essentially, you know, my clickbaity title, VR mode on the Steam Deck, kind of isn't clickbaity because that very much is like a VR experience, making your head the mouse pointer. It really feels great. Obviously, you still got the controls and you're not doing the whole thing with your hands, but that is pretty cool. So one last thing I want to show you is, all right, so if you haven't played Tetris Effect, you should. If I go into the XR Gaming plugin, I'm going to switch it to the virtual display. Now what this allows me to do is increase the screen size. Let's just recenter display. There we go. Increase the screen size. I can do automatic recentering, but essentially what I want to do is I want to expand the screen. It locks the screen in place, and then when I move my head, it allows me to view more of the screen. This feels even more like VR, but I think it's not great for first-person shooters and that, but for this sort of thing where there's a static screen that you want to look around, this could work really well. And I felt like Tetris Effect was the perfect thing to show this off on. So now what I see is that little Tetris block in the middle. I don't see much of the menu on the left, and I don't see any other information around me except some of the stars moving into the middle and the top of the earth. If I move to the bottom right, I can see my Adin walls. Bottom left, I can see version 202. On the left here, I can see the logo and press any button. So you've got to look around to see stuff. I think I can also curve the display, which might be cool. Advanced settings, yeah, curved display. Oh yeah, so I do have a curved display already. Okay, journey mode. And I've got to look around. Okay, play. All right. So this feels very VR-y. Okay, so this is a little bit of a Tetris Effect punt, because I think this will work really well. So the thing is, like with this now, you've got great audio and it's very immersive. So the audio is a little bit tinny on these XR glasses, but you very quickly get used to it, and all it really feels to me is it just feels really good. Just gonna recenter again. So whenever it makes those lovely noises now, I can't see everything, so I can look down and I can see those little nebulas forming at the bottom there. And that just feels, I feel like I'm in the game, you know, because I'm closer in. This Tetris is quite small in the middle because it is actually a VR designed game. Now, check this out. So I have opened the VR version and I can get this 3D effect. It's so immersive. It's so incredibly immersive. So now it feels like it's up. Like, it feels so cool. So good, man. You know, I don't condone playing in bed at night, but this is the sort of game that you would lie in bed at night, have this incredibly immersive sound around you, and just lie on your back and just relax. Like, this feels so nice. Really special. Like, that just felt like it was in my head. Here we go. This is so good, man. I can highly recommend this. I feel like I'm in a whole nother world. This sounds... Yo. Oh, look at that. It's kind of distracting from playing Tetris, though. What is even happening right now? This is insane. Oh, come on. So, okay. It's difficult to be objective after that because that was just so immersive and so lovely. But the first thing I will say is there's definitely drift. Now, my room is quite well lit. In better lit environments, the drift isn't as bad. I mean, it didn't actually drift. Once I was there, which there's light coming through my window, so it's got a little bit of contrast there and probably locked onto that. So once I was kind of looking there, it stopped drifting. But, you know, for instance, playing in bed at night, that's not going to work. You're going to struggle to get a lock on the screen, so then it might even jump around. So there's a downside because you'd want to play this in a slightly darker environment. So you'd need some kind of lamp on or something to get a lock on the screen, otherwise it's going to drift quite badly. And then other downsides, that mouse mode, what I'm calling mouse mode, the VR Lite for first-person shooters, is not without its learning curve. So for instance, I invert my y-axis, so up is down and down is up. And when you're in mouse mode, you have to disable that. And so my joystick is the opposite of what I'm used to. So my head is tracking, which feels natural, but then my fingers are like confused. So there's a learning curve. So if you are a inverted y-axis kind of a guy, bit of a learning curve. And just in general, very weird in the beginning. But the more I've done it, the more used to I'm getting. I was standing in the middle of my studio playing actually Wolfenstein, and I finished a very difficult level because I had the freedom to move around and kind of just get really into it. And that was quite a fun experience. And eye strain is real with this. I would not discount that. I've stopped wearing it for a little while, getting back into it again, and I'm trying to rack my brains why. And one of the reasons is eye strain. I think my glasses are incorrect for this. You can get your prescription put into these, but then you're the only person that can use them. And so that would help with eye strain because then it's very natural. My script, if I look directly into the screen on here, is not correct for this. So a bit of eye strain, but just easier to use in general in that way. But there are quite a few positives. So if you notice while I was playing, my posture is a lot better. I mean, usually I would sit like this and play. Now I'm looking up. And so my posture is a lot better. When I use it for productivity, my posture is a lot better. So that is a huge plus and a very big thing to say when trying to kind of sell this. I don't know if they're saying it at conventions and stuff when they're selling this device, but posture is a huge deal with this. And then obviously I've mentioned the more accurate shooting with that VR light mode. It really does help. It makes a difference. I couldn't finish a stage. I put these on and I finished it in maybe 2 goes. Then I wrote down for travel. This is a huge benefit for travel. If you are gaming or productivity or watching movies, these are ideal for travel. Obviously on a plane, if you don't mind the look of them. But you know, they are really nice to travel with. They come in this nice case. And so a very ideal way to travel, especially if you're playing, like for instance, the Retro Pocket Mini, tiny device with a video out on the USB-C, and you can travel with this and have it as a little media/gaming device. And to bring this home, is this something that works in real life? Like I mentioned, I had stopped using them for a period of time, and I'm trying to figure out why that is. Honestly, part of it is because of the YouTube channel, and I had it on my desk because I use it as part of my testing, and so I kind of forgot about them. But the other side of it was my sort of glasses versus putting them on. That was a little bit of a frustration, and so I might get my wife to make me a special pair of glasses to use with these. And like I mentioned, you can get the script put into them. But those are some of the hurdles in terms of everyday life. But in terms of these features that I'm pointing out, productivity is a big one. It's really nice to use their app and set a big screen and sit like this as opposed to like this when you're working. That is a huge benefit. And then in terms of this gaming, this VR lights and all that, it does make quite a big difference. And so is the value proposition of these worth it? They are very expensive. There is a new, more affordable model on the market. And, you know, I think for certain people, I think had I not had the YouTube channel, it probably would have been a little bit expensive for me. But it really does make a huge difference. If money is not a big issue for you, these make a huge difference in my media consumption and my now, discovering this VR light thing, my gaming experience.